crazy with a 13 and
Yo,
that will do it.
I'm recording
the
our
DPS
first
not sure if it was intentional on their part,
invitational tournament
but
here. Marvel Rivals Ascension
in the
League,
damage department,
EMEA.
that was,
You
that
can
was
see
what they
Planet
needed
Sainage
to get the
is
ball rolling.
against
Tail of the
Dawncore right
before your
now.
very eyes there.
The
GG's
first
to,
match just
to both of
finished.
these teams, and, man,
I will not talk
Twice
much, I will just let
a lot
this
of
play
battles,
out.
and a lot of the stats were really in their favor, but, you know, it's not about getting kills. It's not about racking up the numbers. It is about knowing the strategy, knowing when to execute. And Ex-Oblivion, a team
I will just
for so long and
watch this in real time and react to it with you guys together. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I truly wasn't sure where that was going to go at the end of that second game, but Ex-Oblivion really, really good on those hybrid maps, those escort maps, where they can hold the objective for so long. And I mean, it's clearly their niche. It's clearly why they were able to win, why they're able to win so often. And I'm genuinely so excited.
By the way, a lot of thanks again to the organizers of this league. Dawat is the name.
This is going to be
for the invitation.
Tournament. This is going to be
it's very nice for the team.
Set of matches. We have in just a couple minutes. Dawncore versus Planet Sainage, and then later at 9 p.m. CEST, Ascended.
Let's go!
FN. So be sure to stay tuned for some more brilliant gameplay.
Yeah, I'm an NA guy. I'm from North America, but EMEA has really kind of been a front runner in Rivals Esports. Even, obviously the S tier teams, teams like the former Berber Patapim, now Citadel EU, and Rad Esports are big front runners for sure. But as you go down the ladder, teams are just as strong in this tier of competition, in the MRC, in the community tournament scene. So, there's so much competition here. And, obviously, you got to hit follow. You have to stick with the Ascension League as things continue because you don't want to miss any of these EMEA matches. Next up, of course, Dawncore on the docket here, a team that I personally have seen play several times in other community tournaments. All of these teams are MRC frontrunners too. But, I'm really looking forward to seeing him back in action again. If you enjoyed what you saw in that first series, stay tuned because we got that. A team like Ex-Oblivion.
Dawncore fan, let's go. Let's see how this goes.
Like Insomnia that have been to Ignite before. They played in stage 1. We'll have to see how they stack up and get a little preview of maybe what stage 2
cannot miss the Marvel Cup
is going to look like.
Absolutely. I'm so pumped for what's going to happen, how we're going to run the rest of this tournament. And I mean, genuinely, you look at these teams and think twice. Definitely has something to prove. They've not already won a regional tournament. They're looking to get in there. They're looking to find their place and really say, hey, we're here to stay. But
by the way, I'm sorry for the beer. I need to go to the barber again.
Incredible job in previous tournaments, able to carry that forward, just continue their legacy as one of the top teams, the top contenders in all of Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, I think both teams really sending a message there for both sides, really. Ex-Oblivion saying, hey, we have some experience, we're definitely deadly, watch out for us. But think twice, a really, really solid match, a solid performance. That's the kind of tape that these teams are really going to go watch to know who they're up against in the near future. I can appreciate a solid matchup, especially one that subverts my expectations. And not to say that there's no way that Think Twice, there's no universe in the 14 million possibilities I can see in the future somewhere out there.
Nah, that game was hella close.
This thing for sure. But, plenty of Rivals action to be played out here. Of course, this is just prelims, so they're not going anywhere, folks. They will be here for the weeks to come.
Yeah, I believe we are just going to go on a short 2-minute break. But don't go anywhere. We have an entire evening of brilliant gameplay for you guys to be watching. So stay tuned.
Giovanni. Yeah, we have one substitute, and that's Giovanni for challenge. And I just wrote him. That's insane. And Xill instead of Xillis. Yo, I like that Groot logo, that Groot team. Legit, bro. Okay, I will add our manager Ale now to watch with me. Talk about the game.
Hello, hello. We are back. I am Zeus56, joined by Diatonic. And I mean, after an incredible first set, we are about to go into our second set of matches in the Rivals Ascension League EMEA Week 1.
Yeah, you know, first matchup, Ex Oblivion, Think Twice, really great. Two teams that have been around for a while, seen them in lots of tournaments before. But, you know, I'm really excited about this one. We've got, I guess I would describe it as something old, something new, at least from my perspective. Dawncore versus Planet Sainage. Dawncore, team I'm very familiar with, seen them a lot lately. You know, had a great MRC Season 2 performance. They're the champions of the Marvel Rivals Grassroots Weekly. You know, they've got a lot of hardware for themselves. But just as exciting, Planet Signage, I have not seen them play before. This will be my first time watching them. So, you know, brand new team for me, at least. You know, I love to see a new team come out and play on broadcast. So, yeah, I'm curious. You know, Dawncore, I think, is a big challenge for a lot of the teams in this league. So I am curious to see how at least a new team to me stacks up to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, truly, last match we saw some real titans clash, and here we're going to see some less known teams, some teams really trying to prove themselves, show.
Ja, hallo.
And we have a place in the scene. We
Geht das los, oder?
The skills it takes.
Also bei mir ist es reden, ne?
I mean,
Ist richtig so, ne?
I'm sure every player
English.
try their heart out. And
Recording
it'll be
already.
interesting to see
Ali.
which team's better at strategizing,
Ale.
which team can
Huh?
really
Wait,
perform
what?
at
We have to
their
talk
What
English,
is
bro,
going-
because
I believe
I'm
we're about
recording
to head into
the stream.
match now. But
Huh? Oh,
truly,
I'm on fucking camera.
Yep.
They can hear me in the future.
Yeah.
Seeing some teams.
Bro,
playing
why?
some of the
Okay, I
first
just
time,
mute myself at this point.
How
Alright.
they're approaching things, their strategy,
I mean,
their
yeah.
mindset.
Look, it's gonna
Guys, if you see this in the future, okay, I love you all.
What's gonna happen for
I'm not sure, it's
down the
looking
line
like this on the
when
upload
it's
then.
getting to, like
Like I have my
knockout
picture
stages.
above, like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I use OBS
You know, every
myself,
single
so
game
yeah,
that I watch
it's fun.
on broadcast, you learn
I'm
something
pro at
new,
it, you know.
learn a lesson.
Oh, we're starting, let's go!
Twice showed us just how
Let's go!
important versatility is
If you guys
in a
lose,
game
by the
like
way, I
Marvel
will actually
Rivals,
punch
maybe
you
more
all.
so than other
I don't
esports,
think they can hear
know,
you.
swapping comps there and changing up their game plan.
But in the future, they can hear me.
Wait,
Both
both
put them
touchpad?
back in action there, but
No.
we are on to set number 2
Oh,
of the day. Dawncore
I don't think I know
versus
this band
Planet
system.
Signage. And we are starting things off on the mean streets of New York.
Oh,
here.
fuck,
Welcome
we are
to
cooked,
Midtown
guys.
for some
Holy.
convoy
We are
action as,
cooked.
Dawncore opting for the classic 6 Jeff stack, of course. No, I'm kidding. But really, bans for human.
Wait,
torture
Babybird is
on
playing?
both sides
Bro,
right out
she's
of the
like
gate.
literally a
So, you know,
tryout,
trying to reset my
for another
brain
team for
here.
me.
Normally,
What the fuck?
Zeus,
Oh.
I would see,
Yeah, this is
you know,
like
Emma
not
Frost
finished.
It's good for us. She isn't in the roster, you know? She isn't in the roster, so they don't have to turn together.
Is out.
Fun.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants to fight this guy anymore. So, you know,
They're not
crazy
playing
And
together normally.
Matty is not
especially
playing.
on a map like Midtown that has really high ceilings, a lot of opportunity for a flyer to get in there and deal some serious damage.
Yeah, and I mean, you'd typically expect on paper a hero like Hela, who
We'll
once
see.
you can aim, you've
Nobody
got
there
so
should
much
lose. I
potential.
trust
Oh,
my
wait,
team,
they
though.
banned
Dominate
Meg
lobbies
and
to
saved
be
it.
hard meta, but when there's
That's
so many shields,
maybe
and
maybe
when
an
you've
issue.
got characters that are really difficult.
We
to
have
play
the
but
ammo,
yield
so-
a lot of value. Suddenly, over time, over the course of about a year, this game's been out since the first beta. You suddenly see that starts to shift towards, hey, let's run.
I'm also not gonna
Pump
talk much. I
without
want the
heroes
commenters
that
like
you
they
necessarily
to
need
talk
aim
the
really
most.
well for.
I mean,
And
yeah,
essentially
fair.
pump out a load of value against shield comps especially, because that's consistently what is meta in this game, what is strong and what is good. I don't think there's been a meta where Magneto's not been a strong part of it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, such a high health pool and a huge damage output, especially if you can land those right clicks, fully charged right clicks. So, yeah, no surprise that no matter what, man, Magneto is hard.
Oh my god, no diffs.
You know, as a lot of the field has changed, you know, I remember
Sunless
season
will never
0 when
lose if he
Iron
gets
Fist was
Psylocke,
like
my god,
a
OTP.
nightmare for everyone, especially
Ooh,
as a support
say.
player myself.
Comment
you know,
section
I
is
hated
full
playing
of
against him.
bird.
Now you just don't see him as much, but Magneto is one of those guys that has really stuck around.
Okay, so
no
they
matter what
have
changes
Loki.
here. And you can see
I thought they don't
at
wanna
least on the side of
play Loki.
Encore, they're gonna bring him out. So I've definitely seen
It's gonna be
Kizaru
interesting.
on the Magneto before. Definitely got some plays there. You know, their other Vanguard player, Tree Man, a lot of Groot plays, which for a player named Tree Man makes a lot of sense to me.
Tree Man, look at
Yeah, it
that.
looks like they got one ban left here. They did ban the Luna, which, you know, again, we've been seeing that a lot more lately. Just so much damage for a strategist, and they're going to continue that strategist hate to ban Loki as well. So there's your picks and bans for map number 1. No, nothing too surprising in here, I wouldn't say.
Wait, sorry. Those are the bans for the team specifically. That makes sense. Dawncore, interestingly, managing to save Loki but ban it for their opponents. I think that's a really pivotal character, because he's able to just do so much. He's able to offer so much to a team.
Yeah, that would be
And
interesting.
The Magneto and Tree Man group from the side of Dawncore, really strong, really good at being a defensive backline, at having setups, at blocking their opponents from progressing much at all. Jason on Bew choosing to play Jeff, at least in the spawn room, probably going to swap instantly, but might use a little bit of that.
Who
to
plays
speed
Jeff?
their
Please not,
allies
guys.
into the
I
fight.
think
not.
they really.
Just push up a little bit
I
more.
mean, just for
If
the
they're playing
okay
the
change.
best
Oh,
of
thank you,
them,
Jambon.
They're probably not.
I know that
Interesting
Emma
to
wants
go
to play it a
the
lot, so
switching
maybe they
to
do
the
try
Emma
to pull it
Frost
off at some
and,
point.
Thing.
They practice that
Clearly
shit a lot.
Designed around Wolverine, which is probably going to work pretty well. Wolverine is really strong right now. They had to do an emergency patch just to nerf him a little bit, and with that recovery of both of the Phoenix team, it's going to be so
Oh, they
strong.
actually got the wolf open.
Signage choosing to hold quite high up here, but instantly Emma Frost is going to pull from their side.
Yeah, first blood for Dawncore, kind of a notoriously aggressive team, liking to take their fight right to their opponents. As you can see, no turtle comp here at the start of Midtown for them. They're going with some DPS action here. Symbiotic overhead on the Punisher. Seen him play Punisher multiple times, racks up big numbers, and already going for that turret to just rain down hell on Planet Signage right out of the gate. But they are at least making some progress. They're almost halfway to that first checkpoint. Not bad for 60 seconds of time to use.
And it's Sainage.
Wow,
Yeah,
on
bro.
the side of Planet Signage, going for the Phoenix here, of course, narrow streets in New York here. Not a lot of room to walk, but unfortunately falls victim to that Symbiotic Punisher from overhead. Crazy stuff from him. Not a bad start for Dawncore there. A team that really kind of captures the essence of, you know, they might fall, but they get right back up. They have great recovery, you know, no matter what. Winning a team fight
nice.
is not
Oh,
being
nice.
for Dawncore here, and they're going to struggle a little bit there. Looks
Ooh.
like
Hey,
a
nice trade,
double
nice
kill
trade.
for
Good
the
plan.
Zillies on the side of Planet Signage, and they are wiping the floor with Dawncore right out of the gate here. Definitely not quite secured that first checkpoint yet, but huge.
Bro, where is
progress
Xul aiming at?
opportunity here.
Like-
Yeah, they kick things off.
Bro,
Punching in the air, like,
Bro, that's the tank lifestyle, no?
Interestingly, a team that
I thought that's what it's
Dawncore
about,
here.
just punch
Interestingly,
everywhere.
Surely, yeah, just punch, yeah.
team here that
Clobbering
is
time, you know.
not
Yep.
afraid to see
It's for this guy like 24/7, I feel
I
like.
actually already watched that
We
Fantastic
saw
Four
that
movie, by the way.
Dagger against
Same today, it was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, very nice.
Pretty good.
Used a lot of their team's attention, but it instantly dealt with a problem that was recognized. But P-Signage has such
Holy, let's
strong
go.
communication here, are able to do so many lines up so
Yeah,
well.
get that, Loki.
as the
Let's
team
go.
Able to clobber her.
Wow, yeah, literally clobbering time. Man has a watch that only tells him it's clobbering time there.
Clobbering time.
Clobbering
Yeah, Zilly's
time.
really off to the races there. Very nice start on offense there for Planet Signage. Already picking up that first checkpoint. more than 4 minutes on the clock. Impressive stuff, especially, that's a great first impression for a team that I personally have not gotten to see on broadcast yet. Not only grabbing that first checkpoint, but still holding on to 2 ults. And yeah, Dawncore is definitely a team that likes to expend their resources. They're a little bit free with it than other teams might be, but they're really good at playing under the ult economy advantage.
Oh, that's huge.
So
that's so huge.
Riding the ship and turning things around because Planet
Holy.
is already halfway to that second checkpoint. Huge plays from Giovanni and that Emma Frost.
Giovanni means
victory after team fight victory. Insane stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Giovanni!
Clearly showing a team that
Giovanni, bro.
really well coordinated.
Bro, Giovanni's actually crazy as well.
Able to use the thing to
like
enter into the objective. And then Emma
I was
Frost
talking to the team before that,
so
just
much
telling
value,
them to not argue with
so
Gio.
much, because
He
there's
wants that
rules
IGL
these are the
stuff,
destroyable
there's no
weapons
point
you have.
working against it,
Something
just
like
do it.
Phoenix, like a
If we lose, it's his fault, that's it.
Crazy call.
Yep. It worked though, the scrim was very good before, the scrim was very good tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so as well. By the way, you're calling like for the players you're recording or for who?
For YouTube.
For us? Or for who?
Do you mean the recording right now?
Yeah.
I'm recording for the YouTube channel.
For YouTube channel, okay.
Yeah. No, don't tell me
mean,
you
guys,
haven't
like-
looked at the YouTube channel yet.
Actually, which Mr. like, I mean, there are like 4 new skins, right? From the Fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm unsure which skin I should buy now. I want one.
Next time reset.
Tell me, like, which is the best one, to be honest? I like the Invis pretty much, I feel like.
But now,
It's hard,
pretty
yeah.
much breaking even here. Dawncore looks like they'll have
Invis
Let's see,
or
we got...
Disney, you know.
Dawncore's got 2
little bit
ults.
behind
Oh,
in that
Dawncore got
department
one.
here. Still,
Yeah.
2:15 left to go, and they've still got 1 time refresh sitting there.
I mean,
about
they got, like,
20,
Invis ults.
25
Okay.
meters away from where they're at now. But yeah, very quickly bouncing back from a couple of really big team fight losses on the side of Dawncore there.
Okay, that's bad.
Not what I would expect to see out of them, and they're picking up another pick there. Sunless goes down over on the side of Signage, but they are down but not out for sure. And yeah, we are in for
They're
a
using more
brutal
ults.
fight here as we're only on the first half of map number 1 in this series.
Yeah, already in their opponent's spawn as well. But I mean, we see here that Treeman1 is truly a group player who is not afraid to hold, to use their resources just to get 1 kill, just to try and get an advantage in a fight. It's really like putting all your eggs in one basket. But when it works, man.
Can we have
team up.
all ults almost?
I mean, we need to force kind of like the Invis, right? So.
There you go.
Oh, nice, it's out.
Oh, huge slobbering.
Coming out into their opponents who aren't in the invisible boundaries.
Unlucky,
It's
they-
going to be really clever.
They
We're
hit
gonna get
jump
cooked right now.
Yeah, they hit jump on with
Managed to
Maggold.
get a lot of damage and clean up there. I believe they both got a 3k.
Yeah, I mean, huge comeback here. Waiting for that download to finish on the side of Dawncore.
That
And
Wolverine
now
thing
they
is not
seem to
working
at
too well
least
at the
have
moment, I
Planet
think.
Signage's number a little bit here as the tail of the tape there you saw turning things around a little bit here. Stats closer than they were at the start of this match for sure. But Signage, they've got 3 ults ready to go. Their vanguards are leading the charge here, but Symbiotic
Oh,
on the side
that
of
can't
Dawncore,
happen.
picking up another pick there, racking
that was
up those
bad.
numbers that we see time and time again from a DPS player like him. But Planet Signage is not going to give this thing up, of course. 30 seconds left to go here, and a decent distance to push. Dawncore has held control of that payload long enough now that it's not quite a take the payload and immediately get your time refresh. Now it's going to take some work, and at this rate, I would say it's probably going to take some very, very significant wins under overtime here,
Invisible.
but they need to get on this payload right away. They got
But they
10
have
seconds
Loki.
left to go.
We ult first.
Dawncore clearly having the advantage here.
We got
from all
burned.
perspectives, and instantly that invisible boundary gets countered by the group ult. Such a smart play, such a clever and consistent thing to do. They wait for a support ult and then just counter it.
We played very, very bad in the second point. Very,
Yeah.
very bad.
Yeah, it was like
Can't happen.
that's weird. It was a complete roll until the end of the second point, and then
And they'll use them and find very little
They
value.
couldn't engage.
And you've got to remember the extreme value of supports in this game. As Dawncore managed to hold that second objective, they did get pushed right to the
Is
very
Mac
end.
banned? Yeah, Mac is
This
banned.
going
Okay.
to be
Yeah.
difficult battle. For
That's
mean,
kind
you
of
have to,
bad
you
that
know.
we run the cloak
He's
and
Sainage
have the
and
mag
now
open.
it's
We should have decided to.
Yeah,
Wouldn't even go a thing here, to be honest.
Distance they're going to have to clear here to win this
And to
match
punish
for
it,
sure.
second
Not
point,
a
it's
bad
pretty,
offensive start for Sainage at all, but of course Symbiotic being the hero for Dawncore, putting them back in the fight, whereas out at the start I really thought that maybe this thing was over already, but they turned it around at the last second. Of course Synage's Vanguard players leading the charge there. Zillies and Giovanni putting in a ton of work, grabbing some kills.
Yeah, now we go Cap.
Zillies on the thing, and he's going to swap to Captain Clintar himself.
Captain
Captain
Clintar.
America with the
That's
venomized skin. So they are changing some things up here. We're seeing like Shia's swapping it up a little bit. Giovanni's going to stick with the Emma Frost, of course, but
Okay.
they're changing their strategy actively here.
That's
Dawncore
probably looking a little
better.
hey, bro,
What was that, bro? Holy.
eventually locked in that defense for them there, but plenty of map left to go. Dawncore leading the way a little bit there. Symbiotic 17 elims with 11 of those being final hits and a 17k damage bomb there dropped on defense. But now side swap, door's gonna open here once again, back on the streets of New York here. Dawncore has a lot of ground to cover here, but Sainage interested to see what their defense looks like here with those changes.
Yeah, and I mean, Silas running, as you said, Captain Clintar with Sunless on Silent, a really strong combination as
Shia's down already.
Marik's able to put their opponents up, and it sets up such a clean combo for a Psylocke. It's really the place in the meta that
First almost died
Captain
then.
Marek is holding right now, and that is going to be a quick first fight. Dawncore able to find several key kills, and it's just going to force Sainage to retreat, not wanting to have to reset all the way completely and stagger themselves. That is going to be a turret setup on the objective though for the side of Dawncore, and it's going to deal a lot of damage. It's going to be a big threat. Emma's already really low. That's going to force out a lot of value from the opposing team as they manage to kill.
The Loki
two of
heals
their
are a little
opponents, both
oppressive.
Signage have to retreat. They can't hold space without the survivability of those tanks and vanguards. And 5 minutes.
I literally died too quick right now.
I've ever seen a quicker push on this map.
The Groot and Meg is just
They're opting for a lot of very
way
comfort
more-
hero picks for them. Froston's back
way
on,
more,
the
like,
Psylocke,
oppressive
the Tree-Mans with the Groot,
on the
of course,
front
Kizaru and Magneto,
compared to,
really
like,
showing,
the
these
Emma
are the
Cap.
heroes they're most comfortable with. And Sainage, they're a bit staggered, and now you can see maybe they're pulling back a little bit, trying to regroup. Not a lot of ground left to gain, but they've got to regroup here. Everyone there for a second was trying to play the hero and running in one at a time and just getting wiped out, and now they're kind of looking to regroup, come back together as a team, and Shia's going to be rocking the Phoenix a little bit here, so maybe going to put down some explosive damage there to put a hole in this offensive run, but it's going to take a lot of effort here to lock in defense. They're not going to get this thing up, though. Aim High is going to drop the invisible barrier. Symbiotic continues the brutality on the Punisher there. A quadra kill for him, just keeps on going, even out of the ult, goes to the shotgun and just wipes the floor with him, and that is going to be map number one in favor
so
of
good, bro.
Dawncore. No way they can get there in time. Zillies does swap to the Doctor Strange portal, but it just takes some time to spin up, and that is a Dawncore map number one victory on Midtown.
Dude, the Punisher turret at the end was BS, man.
Cunning got cooked, oh my fucking lord.
This team's really showing the value
Huh?
in this current meta, because Invisible Woman's so good, and he
What?
perfectly
I haven't
counters
learned
that.
something.
Sounds good.
Especially when you have so many ults that can combo with it, like
Did
Magneto,
you wing against
like
the
Synergy,
OTP group?
both just saw, able to deal enough damage, get that headshot to burst through it. And there are other options from a purely DPS perspective to counter those ults, but that is one of the most reliable and consistent, because people don't have time to react as soon as they're trapped in
I
a
mean,
group
we
that
should
they're
be
trapped
better,
in a
right?
group, and they cannot
Definitely, like you saw at the beginning,
Way
we
better.
almost
It's a
stormed
comp that has so
2
much
points
combo
fully,
potential and so much
and then they
potential to
just
flip the script
lost
without
the
even
groove. I
realizing
think.
it. By
Like,
the time
they
you
just
recognize, okay, we're in trouble here.
It's
You're
like
already wiped out. You're
they
already
rolled
No.
they rolled down the
Crazy
mountain
stuff there.
without,
Very visceral
without
match.
any like
Number one,
they climbed up the mountain
starting
without
off
any
struggling a little
issues in
bit,
the flow,
maybe giving
and then they got
opportunities to figure out some
stopped,
things,
and then
say,
they
okay,
just
guys like to
couldn't
play this way, they like
grab it
these heroes.
anymore.
and it just takes some time. And Syinage,
Why not?
I feel like there's some bright spots.
I think
in
we
that
just
map
lose on the
for
tanks
them as
there.
well.
Like,
You know,
the
their
mag
offensive run,
route
not
is
bad at
too
all.
strong,
A
I
decent
think.
amount of distance, but just when
Compared
the,
to Cap
when the
Ammo.
side swap happened, when they went to defense, they just struggled a little
I
bit.
mean,
You know,
Ben's
spent
right.
too much time,
Yep.
kind of everybody trying to play hero, and so now, you know, they got to regroup. They got to work together as a team.
They wanted to play the wolf thing, I know that, so because they knew they obviously gonna play Groot.
from that last point,
So that's why we
and
didn't
it
do anything
could have
about the
shifted
group.
everything. They could have got all the way to.
But I'm not sure.
Play from him. He's gotten picked every single fight
checkpoint
first.
there for Dawncore. Payload on the move and already halfway towards that second checkpoint. So, you know, they're going for a
Frosting
really
getting the
aggressive
grab.
strategy here, and he picks up the Emma. Frost carries her off the bridge, and yeah, Frosted is just not giving up on this thing, but DPS is on the side of Dawncore in trouble here, so Paddock's down, and Froston's weak too. Definitely needs some heals, as Syinage is looking pretty healthy and ready for some defense here to start locking
Okay,
things in.
nice. We went back.
And now that we're in fights that are going to have votes like every match, for every fight, it's really going to shift how these teams approach it, and the potentially pushing power don't have,
we have another fight at least.
something like Sapphire is ultimate on Black Widow is not nearly as useful as most DPS ults in the game. But the team up, or the synergy with other characters is potentially worth it. And I mean, that first fight, we saw them able to push up so far, deal so much damage, do the most, because their opponents didn't have those cooldowns, didn't have the ability or resources to block their block Dawncore's push. They're already at almost the end of second point, trying to come around the side door to block being blocked off by the Venom wall.
Yeah, it's you know, it's clinical at this point. You know, Planet Syinage is up, they come in and they get knocked back down just on repeat here as Dawncore finds the flow here on Symbiotic service. There again, 3 kills there. Ken and Baby Bat picking up some more numbers for themselves here. And Dawncore, even though they've got the advantage here, they're clearly winning this offense so far. They're still keeping things versatile, you know, opting for the Mantis now. They're still changing things up to try and stay 2-3 steps ahead of Syinage here. So they've got to, you know, start locking in something.
Let's see,
here,
maybe
or,
they can
Dawncore
hold
may
this
clear
last
this
point.
map, and then they've got to tie this thing up and go to rounds 3 and 4 and, you know, continue this thing. So a lot of work still to be done on the side of Planet Syinage in this map, but they've still got some opportunities here to try and turn things around.
Absolutely. Hayden showing up into the face of the Hela, dropping down as soon as their shield drops, and
Nice.
oof, that's going to be Hela killing
That's important.
Black Widow, as the Strange Ult does come out and doesn't manage to find a kill because of that invisible boundary, and Wolverine is angry at full charge, but isn't going to be able to find much value, and he's just going to get pushed away. Magneto popping ult, is he going to be able to find a kill with this? He should,
Okay, nice
but
start.
he doesn't quite, because Click and Dagger uses that fade, able to block so much from their opponents, and the retaliation of a Magneto isn't going to do much for Dawncore or Sainage. And that Cloak and Dagger ult coming out. I believe both teams have just used a support ult to
Okay, good
give them
pick.
that little bit more time in the fight, a little bit of room to breathe before pushing in with ultimates now. And I mean, this Emerald is probably going to get 3 of them, able
Very
to
nice.
not quite get that Silence Link, and Doctor Strange pops his ult really quickly, using a really
Okay,
clever
good save,
piece
good
of tech
save.
there to fly up above
Shoot.
their opponents, now blocking off heals for their
Alright,
allies.
quick
Wolverine
ult,
manages to get 2 kills from that ultimate ability, as Phoenix able
Nice.
to get that clean up, and Syinage able to hold the point here for the first time this game. 3 minutes left on the clock for Dawncore, and they only have a little bit of space to take.
Yeah, I would definitely call that team fight a win for Syinage there. Maybe the one of few they've had so far in this offensive run, but at least, you know, bright spots for maybe a turnaround here. You know, supports on the side of Syinage doing double duty here. Aim High and Jam doing everything they can to keep their teams alive. You know, great invisible barrier in that last team fight there, countering Dawncore's ults, and they may be trying to do it again here. Aim High's throwing it down, giving their team some sustain here as they try to wipe out Dawncore, but no kills, kind of just breaking even here as we're going to go back to some neutral game. Both teams no ults except for Sunless does have that Wolverine ult ready to go. So healing factor standing by, just trying to find a way.
We're gonna need that
something
big
going on defense here. But Encore, once they find that flow, they are a team that is very difficult to break it out of. But Sainage is gonna give it a try here. Zillies lets the Psionic Seduction fly. A double kill there for Shia on the Phoenix, trying to keep things going. And Dawncore is aced here with 2 minutes left to go and 2 checkpoints secured so far. And now I would say Zeus Sainage is starting to wake up in this game and starting to catch up too.
Let's go.
Absolutely. I mean, this is truly a reverse in what the entire game so far has been. Dawncore will have managed to push almost all the way though, so it's not going to be an easy jump for Sainage on attack. Even if, and it's a big if, they hold Dawncore all the way here. They Sainage now having 5 almost 4 or 4 almost 5 ults, and Dawncore having a very similar amount. This is going to be a high fight, a high utility fight from the perspective of both teams. The Pitiful Gloves being popped, Mag Ultimate being popped. I think 3 supporters have been popped as the Phoenix ult gets.
Yo, I don't see it. Okay, nice one. Let's go, Shia. It's waking up.
And they're just gonna be able to hold point. They use the support ult last from the side of Dawncore, so they're going to have an advantage here from a health perspective. Emma's health going up and down and getting 2 down. They fall as Stranger trying to come out here. Managing to only hit the Phoenix, who is going to get Magneto bubble, but they're not going to live because of that hella headshot.
One more fight
now,
left.
Sainage are split. Some of their supports are in that backline, and they're going to be killed by the Doctor Strange with that release of the Darkness, Maelstrom of Madness, and only 2.85 meters left to go. And they're holding. Will they be able to hold for another 25 seconds? We cannot tell yet, but it's looking heavily favored towards Dawncore now. 5 members of the Sainage are dead. And
almost.
That is all the way for Dawncore, but with only 14 seconds left after getting held for about 5 minutes. That is a rough ending.
Yeah, it was really the team fight before the last there that kind of sealed Sainage's fate. A lot of ults expended and just not a lot of value. I mean, at best it was a 2 for 2, but yeah, just no big progress made on that last fight. Dawncore is kind of ready, dug their heels in, and stuck with it. So they clear the map here, and now the best that Sainage can hope for, at least as we swap sides here at halftime, is to try and tie this thing up and go to a round 3 to stop Dawncore from locking in the shutout here. 2 maps to nothing here, but still plenty of opportunity for them to kind of make some plays here. But the margin for error is extremely small here as that window of opportunity is kind of closing. Again, Sainage shaving a lot of time off of Dawncore's clock. Their time bank, at some point it was over 5 minutes, but now we're down to just a few seconds. So
yeah, that's
not
good. That's
bad
very
defense in the back half, but just not coming soon enough to kind of turn the tide in their favor here. So there's your tail of the tape. You can see Dawncore's numbers definitely ahead here so far. Ken currently leading the charge for the team. The ace, 12 elims and 17 assists on the cloak and dagger. So definitely some room for Planet Sainage to try and catch up here as they get their hand at offense here on Symbiotic surface. But a lot of questions Dawncore has for Sainage and not a lot of answers they have. And Jam somehow finds. Oh, it was the Doctor Strange portal. I think we missed it here, but Frost in there, disgusting start to this matchup. You see teams do this. They open with the Doctor Strange portal, say, "Yeah, come on in. Get an ambush on us." Oh, sorry, it's off a cliff. So, nice stuff from Dawncore there to get things rolling.
Far out, trying to find some value. Is going to be able to get a couple of explosions after using that self-healing from them to deal a lot of damage, as Captain Clintar gets almost burst down by those bombs, but isn't going to be quite able to kill them. Ken managing to get a kill onto Sunless. The flanker becomes the flank, and Sainage really trying to make a push, but isn't going to quite.
Huge ult by Shia.
That was an incredible ult from Shia though, as they have been able to take the point. They have been able to make progress, and I don't think it's going to get held by Dawncore. They're so staggered here, as Sunless with that Magneto bubble able to force out a lot of value from those shields, and the Phoenix Ultimate coming out trying to block their opponents able to get a lot of chain damage off, but it's not going to be quite enough to find a kill, find much value, especially in that Lunar Snow because the World's Ultimate and Strange Ultimate will go out. Won't manage to find much value as there is now an invisible bounty from the side of Sainage up, and Sainage react with Donkor react with their own Phoenix Ultimate isn't going to find much
Huge
value
push, let's go. Very good.
Sainage have pushed all the way up. Sainage are going to cap this point now, and with a couple minutes left on the timer, they could.
Symbiotic going back to the Punishers, trying to save something now.
And Zillies and Shia on the side of Syinage are jockeying for that MVP. Strange Portal coming in though from Kizaru to get Donkor back onto this thing. They were a bit fractured before. The team's a little split up more than usual, but they're trying to get things going here together, and it is not working out in their favor here as it looks like Frostin goes down there first. Syinage picking up yet another pick here. Shia, the hero for Planet Syinage in this match, picking up even more kills, another double notch, one more for the Phoenix in this matchup here. Symbiotic goes down, a triple kill there, keeping the chain alive, and now Syinage is awake, and they are in this match. 2 minutes to go, and they're threatening to get that second checkpoint, and the time refresh will be theirs. 3:30 on the clock for Syinage, and now, if I'm Donkor, I am seriously looking at the possibility of a round 3.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know how any of these players do it. You look at their screen, it's just particle effects. It's just everything happening at once. But they're able to hit headshots so consistently. They're able to perform so well that it doesn't matter, right? It's incredible seeing the absolute prowess everyone in this match has as we are now picking up onto the last point. No one is on the objective, so this is almost wasted time for the damage that they have now.
Yeah, still about 3 minutes left to go there. Looks like Donkor kind of making a 2 for 2, just trying to break even at the very least here. They have quite a few resources. Tree Man letting the stars slide on the Captain America ult there, but just not enough to keep the team alive here as Syinage is really taking control of this thing here on offense. So they struggled defensively, but this is like a whole different team. It's like all 6 players just swapped out at halftime, and now 3 ults left to go for them. But Donkor does have a little bit of an economy advantage there. 4 with a Cloak and Dagger ult waiting in the wings here. 2:15 left to go, and now not only does it look like Planet Syinage is threatening those extra rounds, but unless Donkor starts locking in this defense, they're going to have a bigger time bank, a huge advantage going into those extra rounds. So, you know, Planet Syinage really being a threat here on Symbiotic surface, and they're just keeping this thing rolling here.
Silas with the pick is huge.
I mean, when you've got teams with like
huge capital, huge cloak.
It becomes a battle of sustainability.
Like Giovanni hit the cloak ult, I think.
Out first, and can you counter them? Because if you can gain an advantage, even just a small one,
insane.
Huge
start ult, yep.
It's going to be a lot of sky pressure there.
Yep.
As he's going to get 3 kills total.
Come on, finish it.
Instantly trying to bam it back up with that spin.
Yeah, looking good.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, Planet Syinage down but not out after that first half there. And they're going to clear the map. 1:20 still on the clock as round 2 wraps up. We're going to round 3. These two teams are breaking even. And now, all the time in the world, they're going to be the ones to throw down the gauntlet and tell Planet Syinage how much distance they're going to have to clear
we got the
if they want to win this map.
Done
you know,
now, I think.
On round 1, the first time, don't do that again.
The Wolverine thing is just not refined enough. Yeah, but his Wolverine was just not working enough.
Yeah, but the fact that we ran Wolf to begin with, I told them not to play Wolf.
Oh, I got you.
That first fight on attack.
Okay, I'm gonna full mute again because I'm recording.
They were able to do so much, but it looks like they're not going for that strategy this time.
Let's
and
see.
Honestly, I'm not sure if that's the right choice, because that strategy worked so well when no one won fight at the start. If you pull off that strategy correctly, which has been proven to work in this context against this team, it rolls them, it wins you the fight, and it potentially wins you the game. But they're clearly not trying to do that. They're clearly trying to push it very far as Sainage play a more defensive game.
Unlucky grab.
That manages to kill Xylus very early on, and then Symbiotic finding a second kill. This is going to put Donkor on the massive on a massive advantage here as they manage to finally take that high ground back, killing a support. That is a nasty melee combo from the side of Symbiotic, I think.
Yeah, and you know, almost every member of Dawncore picking up some elims there. You know, we saw Baby Bag get one, Symbiotic's picking them up.
Oh, they get this here?
All of them are getting kills here, and they've managed to run Sainage off of this point here as they're looking to contest this last little bit of progress. But Zillies is going to get that Doctor Strange portal to get Sainage back in the fight here. Last opportunity for them to try and close this thing out before Dawncore can secure that payload. It would be a huge defensive lock-in here, and they might be able to do it. 2 members of Dawncore, 3 go down. Symbiotic is down. Those supports are still up. Fate of both worlds coming in from Ken on the side of Dawncore to keep him alive. But Aim High now has that invisible barrier ready to go. Kazar with the meteor in overhead. Release finds Sunless, but not as much damage as you'd want to see here. Aim High drops that invisible barrier, covers that entire point to keep Sainage sustained here as they're looking to close this thing out. Dawncore going down 1 by 1, and it is a long walk back from spawn to get to contest this point.
Yeah, literally swapping to Spider-Man just to contest, and I believe they use a Strange Puzzle at some point there. If not,
Awesome,
they're probably likely to be about to use a Strange...
Huge!
Venom swap from Treeman there isn't going to quite be enough. They get all the way to 95.5%. I don't think I've seen that point held closer, especially so early on. But they were ultimately held by Sainage. Sainage have double the time their opponents did, but by the end of that overtime, I think it ended up being about the same.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Planet Sainage at least has some momentum here. They definitely started picking up some kills there at the end of that first half for round 3. So now, you know, the question is, can they just keep that momentum rolling? You know, they're gonna have to get, I believe, 2 or 3 ticks of progress all the way on that first payload to secure this thing. But, you know, 2 minutes to do it, it's a lot of time. So, you know, margin of error on the side of Dawncore extremely thin here, as they're going to have to address the reality that maybe we're going to go to map 3. This is not necessarily going to be a shutout. You know, Planet Sainage really been turning things around so far on Symbiotic surface, but you know, doors are open here in just a second. You know, big opportunity for Sainage to take a map off of a very highly ranked MRC competitor.
So we just need to cap within 2
some
minutes.
hardware behind them for sure. So, you know, this is their chance here to
And
take
then
them
we go
to
to
map
a
number
map
3 and
3,
maybe
that would be
get
huge.
some momentum going into that and threaten to take the series away from Dawncore.
Yeah, absolutely. Dawncore looking to know how to set up their team defensively here, though. They've got Strange really far up from the rest of the team, but they've also got that Punisher and that Wolverine, both really good at punishing overcommitted players and tanks. As Sainage know they have time, they're going all the way around, trying to push onto this high ground here, forcing the rotate from Wolverine as Phoenix is flanking. That's interesting. And
oh, let's go, almost.
She's able to manipulate that off angle so well, trying to find some explosions onto that.
Oh my god, nice, Punisher.
Punisher gets deturreted.
Oh, what is this grab?
And damn, I mean, Froston really pushing into their opponents as Sainage are on defense, but on the high ground, and Dawncore Sainage are on attack on the high ground, and Dawncore
nice, stable.
We
might get a pick here.
As best they can. But no one's died yet, except until just now. Sunless just managing to pull here, as Dawncore now having enough momentum to find a second kill.
Shall I get a pick?
Game, and also about to come online, especially Shia, and Baby Bat already has the dagger ultimate. That's going to be a lot
need to reset
for their team. As Shia gets killed before they manage to use their ultimate, that is 50 more
They
seconds.
have all ults though, that's bad. We also get a lot of ults though.
To reconnect and retouch, but they could just touch normally. They do have the ability to.
Yeah, they've got to take an opportunity here to regroup, but Sunless not waiting, getting impatient there and getting picked off by Frost, and that could be huge here. Big DPS down on the side of Planet Sainage, but they got 3 ults ready to go. It's 3 ults versus 3 ults, and it's Dawncore's last chance. They've got to defend this thing and just hold them off here before Sainage can get in there and wipe the floor with them. You know, they do have that Invisible Woman ult. Dawncore's got 2 support ults, though, a ton of sustain, so it's a big ask for both teams. Not a lot of time left, not a lot of space to defend, so it's going to be a lot of ults flying here. And Dawncore, they enter this last fight here with 6 of them ready to go. Tree Man there, as you can see, with the Eye of Agamotto ready to go. The cannon is going to open things up with the fate of both worlds. Symbiotic goes judge, jury, and execution.
Huge!
Go down. Shia takes them down.
Oh
Phoenix, huge double, triple kill there, but responding very quickly. Tree Man with that Eye of Agamotto, stunning Sainage to buy some time here, but it's not going to buy them back those bodies that are going to be walking back from spawn as Tree Man is sitting there with the
holy.
And it looks like Zillies finds another kill onto Baby Dad here. We are now under overtime, but still a lot of play left here, even under overtime. Sainage,
They
good
still have
stuff
Mag
there
Bomb.
as they manage
It's
to
gonna be
take
close.
control of this thing, but Dawncore does have an opportunity here to get one last chance at a retake.
Symbiotic looking to
Nice.
with the strange portal. Doesn't
Nice.
manage to. They've won. They've taken the game, and that means that this match is going to go to the final point.
Nice, very good.
Oh,
Insane. Wow. I want to see the
Huge
stats.
comeback for Planet Sainage. You know, it's taken them some time, a couple of maps here, but by the end of Symbiotic surface there, now they are looking locked in and ready to go here. Zillies with the MVP there on the Captain America. Very, very nice stuff for them. But Dawncore taken to map number 3 here against Planet Sainage, and insane numbers on the side of Sainage. You know, Zilly's the MVP, but don't overlook the DPS line either. Both Sunless and Shia picking up an insane amount of elims, especially that
Insane
Phoenix there.
stats, holy.
24 final hits at the end of the day. And, you know, I really feel like their Phoenix was kind of the game changer in that. A lot of multi-kills there that just kept them in what was quickly a losing fight for them. So insane stuff from both teams.
I mean, it just doesn't feel fair when you've got a Phoenix able to. It's so clever. They set up 2 opponents stacked on each other with 2 ticks of the Phoenix charge. Then they ulted right in the center of them, and it dealt so much burst damage because it forced 2 explosions and the ult damage at the same time, able to damage through Luna's
Alle.
ultimate. And they clearly weren't expecting it. They clearly didn't realize that interaction was possible because they were not moving away from each other. They were not acting to prevent that. They were just waiting for it to happen. And it really shows how strongly a new character can change the meta, can change how the game is played, because there's new strategies that you might not even think of if you've not encountered them before. And we are going into Midtown Convoy for our final game of this set.
Yeah, and you know, Phoenix plays so differently than all of the other heroes in the game. I mean, it's a completely different gimmick than what we have on a lot of the other characters, and so it's kind of difficult to get a lock on it. You know, it's just one of those things where you don't realize, you know, you're grouped up, she gets a couple of left clicks in on you, and then you have an ult dropping on your head that just blows up your whole team out of nowhere. So I think it just takes some more getting used to for these teams, you know, to realize like, okay, they've got a Phoenix, we're trying to defend on this point, maybe we need to spread out a little bit, give some space, make sure somebody is touching to at least contest so that they don't start making a bunch of progress here. But you know, I think as the season goes on, I'm curious to see what Phoenix is looking like in terms of competitive viability. But Shia really just showed us that she is here and she can keep up with some of the meta heroes for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We are going on to map 3 now. I believe we did see it briefly for a second. I'm hoping it comes back. But Midtown Convoy, really interesting choice. We saw it last set of 3, I believe. It actually, we didn't. I'm wrong. Don't listen to me ever. I'm joking.
Okay, I'm back.
But it's a really interesting map. It's quite linear. It's pretty defender sided. So it'll be interesting to see if they're able to still, if either team's really able to make much progress. Because last game, they were certainly both able to make progress, but Clintar is generally pretty attacker friendly. And
yeah, for sure. Oh,
core domination.
Domination for some
we really don't like
action.
this map, I
Mutant
think.
Haven itself here for map number 3.
But it's so good for
Dawncore
Phoenix, so
looking
that's
for
maybe good
Haven
for us.
here to kind of get a last map win, but you know, they've been down before but not out, so I expect to see some comebacks here as we get underway. Interesting. I do feel like Dawncore is pretty comfortable as a team on Dom. They do pretty well on domination maps. So, you know, a little bit of an uphill battle out the gate for Sainage, but of course, you know, this pick and ban phase, man, it can change everything in the blink of an eye. So I'm curious to see if if Sainage has some kind of strategy here to maybe get an earlier game advantage, because, you know, you can only play on the edge of the cliff for so long. Like, you can't be making these crazy comebacks every single game. You got to get comfortable and get some advantages going for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams banning Johnny Storm there. they've done that every game this set, and who can blame them? They are both so good. Signage choosing to still ban Brute. We saw what Dawncore can do when you set him up properly, and it is nasty. Both teams choosing to save the Magneto. Potentially an Emma ban coming out here. I wouldn't be shocked if it is, especially with how good Emma is at punishing divers, punishing anyone who overcommits even just a little bit, and stalling matches. But Signage clearly first here, trying to ban Luna Snow, a support.
Yeah, and it would especially be helpful to ban Emma on the side of Dawncore because Giovanni seems to be a pretty competent Emma Frost player. He's shown some good stuff in this match so far, and yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. You called it. They're at least hovering it, thinking about it, said we really probably shouldn't give him that again if we want to try and lock this thing up for ourselves. But they're going to trade some blows back and forth here. You know, both of them are going to ban Luna Snow, so no fate of both worlds for this this third.
I think they want to run the same comp kinda again, but get the Loki
Signage,
out.
you know, that group ban worked out for them. I think not having to fight Tree Man underneath one of his comfort picks. You know,
yeah.
I think that,
we
that
saved
definitely
Loki.
Turn the tide.
When we
for
ban
them
it, that's
there.
gonna be huge.
Signage is gonna get the Loki here too. They get the protect on him. So you know, I feel like so many threats that you have to try and deal with in this pick and ban phase, and unfortunately a couple of them are going to get through. And I think Signage picking the Magneto and the Loki together, not bad for your saves at all. Not a bad look, especially going into this 1-to-1 situation.
And
no, but they can save Loki as well.
Choosing who to save, I think they stand a very strong chance of. I think that it would be really good for them to save Emma here. It would give them such a strong tank lineup that would give them a massive edge over their opponents. Choosing to save Loki instead, that does make a lot of sense. Loki is quite oppressive in this meta, and if you've got a Loki and they haven't, you have a massive advantage, especially with the power of that immortality token. But Signage now have a decision to make, and they choose to ban the Cloak and Dagger, which will leave Emma Frost open for Dawncore to take. That is going to give them a heavy advantage in this next match.
Yeah, they have access to both Magneto and Emma Frost. I've seen this situation with them before, and they absolutely crush it when they've got access to both of those top tier vanguards. So there's a lot here that Signage is going to have to deal with. But interestingly, staying versatile here, they're going for the Guardians of the Galaxy res comp. They've got the Mantis, the Adam Warlock, and the Star-Lord all locked in. So now Dawncore themselves have an uphill battle here too. It's going to be hard to keep Signage in the grave here. It's going to be hard to secure, especially on Domination. Not a bad look for Signage here going into this thing. So here we are, map number 3, Krakoa. Former headquarters of the mutants themselves here for some domination action. Both sides winning one map here. Signage looking really strong in that map number 2, and now they've got a little bit of momentum here. So definitely going to be looking for them to try and cling to that thing for dear life as we get ready to see who wins this second prelim series here.
And we just got dog cam. Sorry.
No,
I like.
it's nice.
Let's go.
You never know what you're gonna see in those spawn rooms, man. Before it's on, you have no idea what you're gonna see.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, rest comp is very good for that.
I've seen people suggest that Blade just moves around all the time instead of ever showing up in game. But we're now gonna see Signage choosing to not run Penny. I mean, it makes sense. Penny's a weird character to be running, but potentially quite strong with the right strategist with that rocket. But when you've got Loki open, you take Loki. Now the Magneto is trying to engage, trying to push it up into their opponents as Spatic. Oh, he gets dropped down onto the low ground. That's not going to be good for him. That's going to force him to reset just a little bit. And the Loki Immortality Totem's coming out as Strange pushes that a little bit further up, trying to find a kill, trying to find value into their opponents. Only 80 health left on that shield, 100 left on to Invisible Woman as she pops Invisible Boundary really early on in this fight. Ken also having cloned someone, potentially trying to look.
That's unlucky. Use the first fight. First point.
Cracking impact, managing to find 2 resets so far, and looking at a third. Yeah, that's it.
Wow, yeah, huge opener there for Doncor. Several picks, definitely going to secure that first take for them on this match. So a really solid start there, but finally Sunless manages to hunt down Frostin and put an end to the reign of terror. So at least Sainage has 3 ults here. Doncor, again, a team that likes to just let the ults rip. They don't hold on to them for too long here, so that may put them on the back foot in this fight here as a Galactic Legend overhead for Sunless to start putting some damage down. Kizaru goes for the Meteor M and falls out of the sky, taken down by Star-Lord there as Sainage is going to clap right back here. Not even 25% captured for Doncor yet, and we're already going to be seeing some res action here on the side of Sainage. They're going to be a team tough to keep down in this matchup, and Doncor spending a lot of those ults may bite them here as they don't have a lot of resources to follow up if they get a big Adam Warlock res.
I mean, we saw Magneto there. Instead of choosing
only
to try
45%,
and
that's nothing.
themselves, just submitted to the EMEA Psychic Seduction in order to try and get that kill. Really, anyone's game still. Anyone could cap here, and it would be neck and neck.
Yeah, point number 1 really turning into a tug of war between these two teams. Aim High going to copy the invisible barrier ult there just to get them some sustain going. Pretty interesting positioning from both teams. You know, Sainage started on the high ground there as this fight gets underway here, but they quickly swap sides though. But the highest ground of them all, Sunless again overhead. That Galactic Legend himself finding a double kill and looking for even more here. Triple, maybe a quadra on that invisible woman as it continues. Does find that quadra kill. Huge play for Sainage there as they are in full control here on Krakoa so far. Just absolutely insane stuff. And Adam Warlock's been holding on to that ult for a while. We haven't even seen the big res yet because there just haven't been enough members of Sainage respawning. But now Doncor's got an opportunity for a retake here. 4 ults, but they are staring down that Adam Warlock res. So even if they get those kills with those ults, there's still going to be some fighting under an ult disadvantage at some point for them coming up here. But they got to make a move here soon. 95% and counting for Planet Sainage to capture this first point on map number 3.
Absolutely. I mean, Planet Sainage, no direct, no deficit here, but they're just waiting, they're just stalling to kill that neck and neck, and they've achieved it, walking in with that Punisher of the EMEA for Psychic Seduction.
Oh, unlucky. Yeah, that worked well. That was a huge
early, and that's going to put them at the forefront of the fight, but Adam Warlock come out, managing to bring back 4 members of their team in total, and I don't think it's going to be enough, though. Doncor are so close to recapping, but Team Sainage are at 99% and has played so effective this fight, and I believe they're continuing that trend throughout kills onto the Mantis.
Oh, nice. Another ult, another pick.
To flip things though, as we see.
Still trying to win this?
Captain America popped that freedom charge.
Yeah, and Doncor, they managed to claw their way to a retake there, even under the ult. Good stuff there. Yeah, you're right. 4 members of Sainage got back up, and they all went right back down. Doncor managing to take it and stay in this fight here. Point number 1 turning into an absolute bloodbath here. But it looks like a couple of team-up reses are going to come into play here. Shia and Jam are going to get back in the fight here. The supports back up and running, but they take him right back down there. And Doncor now going for some Adam Warlock of their own. Frostin picking him up here and showing him what he can do on Adam Warlock. 4 members of Sainage down. It may be a 99-99 overtime fight once again from both of these teams, but Sainage gonna have to take just a second to try and regroup, but they may not have enough time. No Doctor Strange portal. There they are. They're in just in time. Overtime here. Both teams at 99%. No ults ready to go, but Doncor's gonna have some very quickly, and that Symbiotic Seduction from Treeman may be huge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Captain Clintown really pushing in here, showing the power of that Venom symbiote with the ideals of freedom.
Guardians res comp, you really have to be careful about the flow with it. It's really hard to line that thing up properly, and I think they activated it at a good time. They got a lot of good reses out of it, and Doncor just played on through it, and unfortunately they just couldn't set it back up. You know, there's a lot of steps, a lot of moving parts with that thing, and it's just hard to get it to go when you need it to go, and Sainage just didn't have anything to follow up with it. So Doncor, you know, playing under a resource deficit for sure. They got control of that point and just rode it all
resource deficit.
So,
let's go.
Yeah, edge of the cliff here for Planet Sainage.
Okay,
1 point in Doncor's favor, and all they need to do is capture this one to close out series number 2 of the Ascension League here. And yeah, that'll be all she wrote. So big
That was such a
opportunity
good
for Dawncore.
round, though.
They've been struggling a little bit. They've been on the back foot more than maybe they have in the past here, but a big opportunity to shut the door on Planet Signage right here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I know we're here to appreciate the mechanical complexities, but sometimes you forget just how beautiful the environments in this game can be. With the Invisible Woman all going out there trying to force Punisher off of her, is able to, as Dawncore have rotated onto the point here. This is where they are holding down, and Symbiotic are having to push them, having to take space away from their opponents just to touch, just to contest the objective.
Oh, close shot.
And we're seeing a lot of damage from both teams, but not much in the way of death so far. But that's all about to change. Freedom Charge coming out, and the Adam Warlock.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. Big. Beautiful play.
Coming out from the space created.
Captain Clinter skin is so good as well, by the way.
Their opponents, they're just killing the staggered leftovers.
Yeah, going for some more comfort picks there for sure. Zilly's back on the Captain America. We've seen really good stuff from him so far. 11 elims already, but leading the charge there, Shia once again in the driver's seat on that Phoenix. 11 elims there as well. Signage making that first cap there to get things going. So they're not down and out. They're not throwing in the towel just yet. 3 ults to 3 ults it looks like, but Dawncore is gonna have a couple charges up. They're both gonna have several resources at their disposal here. So now Dawncore did swap to that Adam Warlock. They're looking to get some reses out of that too. But a team like them that likes to spend those resources, they might have to take a little bit of time, maybe hold some of them back, but they've got 6 ults ready to go here as we're looking for some kind of opportunity to get a team fight rolling.
Down, Punisher coming out here into this invisible boundary. Hasn't found any value yet, and I don't think it's going to, but it is going to allow Silent to get a kill onto their opposing Adam Warlock. Invisible Woman finds one as well. Dawncore have started steamrolling. Oh my god, they just got 4.
That Punisher is so strong.
And
that's very
it's
crazy.
56% for Signage, but Dawncore are making their push. They're making progress.
Also, the other team is still running the triple
Frosted,
support.
it's so interesting that he's opting for the Adam Warlock. He's playing him like a DPS, picking up kills left and right. Plenty of elims for him. I didn't even know that he played Adam Warlock, to be honest. So crazy stuff, trying to just subvert everything they can to throw Signage off their game. And finally, Dawncore makes a retake there. Already 25% of the way, so not a bad retake for them so far as they find another pick there. Looks like Giovanni is going down. The Magneto is down and out. But 2 ults waiting for Signage here. So, game's not over yet. Signage did almost get 60% on that first cap here, but they need to take a sec, regroup, and kind of engage as a team. Again, we saw them, they abandoned the triple res comp. I commend them for not sticking to something that just wasn't working in their favor. They're going for more comfortable picks, and they look a lot better and look a lot more confident on these picks right now.
Absolutely. I mean, we're seeing the Freedom Charge come out with 2 ults from the side of the Signage, I believe. And this is going to be an incredible push up for this team. And Invisible Boundary is
There's so many ults.
trying to just keep that team alive, keep them in the fight. Psionic Lynch forced onto the Invisible Woman, and it is going to allow her to get killed, but the Phoenix ult does come out. That's going to put a lot of pressure onto the side of Dawncore. And I believe Dawncore have just taken the objective.
Yeah, they're in control here. 75% capture progress for them, and once again, Dawncore has found the flow here. They're able to keep getting some picks that prevent Signage from grouping up and getting into a team fight here, and they just haven't had an opportunity to really full send and try to get a retake here. So Planet Signage maybe looking at one last opportunity to try a retake here, gathering on the point, getting ready for a fight, as Dawncore is definitely going to be at 99%. It's going to have to be an overtime for this retake here, but Signage is not going to back down.
Absolutely not.
We have Loki as well.
We do Signage, then Dawncore using it to freeze our opponents whilst the Punisher ultimate comes out, trying to find his kills. Does manage to find one, then a second at the tail end of it, as we now see that the prowess of Dawncore, able to get so many kills in such a short amount of time and just hold the objective.
Wow! Yeah, but very well played. I think we deserved that to lead that point at the beginning, like this third round. The first point should have been us. And I guess they played better on
and,
this cradle. And then
shout outs to Planet Signage.
could have
showing
gone
a
to map
lot
3,
of
but
stuff in those last couple matches.
that was very good.
Plays, a lot of
Very good.
teamwork, but just not
We played with a
enough
substitute.
to take down a team like
First
Donkor,
outing of the team, like, on this
I believe
stage.
it was like top 16 MRC season 2.
Very nice.
They're definitely kind of on the cusp of making that jump from that level of competition up to Ignite, and coming back from those odds really kind of shows where they're at as a team and how strongly they work together. But definitely not all their game to win for sure. They dropped a map against Planet Signage and showing that a powerhouse in kind of the tier 2, tier 3 competitive space is not untouchable at all. But there are your numbers for this last game here. Ken will pick up the MVP on that Loki. Very nice Loki pick there. I managed to hold on to that through the pick and
Yeah,
ban
I'm
phase,
still confused about that. We protected the Loki, but then went triple support.
Just adding to
But
his
yeah.
kills over time. So
Still very well.
there was a
played.
lot of very interesting plays throughout that
Feel
match,
just-
but I think ultimately Donkor showed, like I said from the very beginning of this set, they're a team that they go down but they just don't go out.
Yeah, absolutely incredible match. These first 2 games or matches in this tournament.
That was
have
very
been
good.
absolutely
Very good game to
outstanding.
watch.
What's
Very nice.
company
Like at the
against
beginning,
them,
first the
against them, both
Storm,
of them. But
then
be sure to
the
stay tuned. We have Ascended versus Brute FN
Storm back,
coming up in just a
you
couple
know,
minutes.
and
but
then
we are
the
going to
second
go on a
map was
short
just
break
insane
before.
how we came back there. Like we looked so strong and then so bad at some points, but in the end, very nice. I'm gonna mute this, and I will go back to my team. And thank you for watching. See you later.